Okay, now let's begin. Come on. Bingo. Roll the credits. Hello guys, welcome back to Path Nostalgia. Surprisingly, people are thinking like, why have you brought this back? Well, a couple of reasons why. There's some unfinished business, really, just to, because like some shows I've sort of missed out doing its original run, really, a couple of years ago actually. So I thought, why not just bring these back? It's only like a short number. It's only about 22 to go on from, really. Just 22 shows just to talk about, and I've missed out, and I thought, why not just please the people actually who basically are familiar with my work on YouTube, the channel, of course. I thought, why not? These are the last shows I'm going to cover on the channel just to talk about, and that's really about it, really. After that, it's finished. It's finished with good. It's back for its final bit, really, like a bit of a comeback, but afterwards it's gone forever. So this is the last gasp of it, really. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go through the show, and this is Danger Mouse. Because I've talked about the other ones, so I talked about Count Duckula and Victor Hugo, Bungus and Crime on the original run, so I thought, why not go back to the beginning, of course. So, this came out in 1981 and ended in 1992. It's created by Mark Hall and Brian Cosgrove and Mark Hall. It's more Brian Cosgrove's creation, really, more of his thing, really, because Mark Hall was more into the adaptation type of side, really. So like Piper Hamlin, Cinderella, The Wind in the Willows, that sort of thing. Whereas Cosgrove was more into the 2D animated, more crazy, sort of over the top, bit more out there type stuff, really. So Danger Mouse fills the bill, really. Obviously, it's sort of like homages Danger Man from the 1960s, and has a very good voice talent as well, because you've got Sir David Jason as Danger Mouse and the narrator as well, which is fabulous. I think it's the first time that David Jason worked with Cosgrove Hall, then subsequently went on to do Wind in the Willows, Count Duckula, Victor Hugo, Bungus and Crime, the adaptation of the BFG as well. So, and that proved to be a long-lasting relationship. I don't know what was the last project they worked on together. Victor and Hugo might have been it, or there might have been something else. I'm not entirely sure. But this is the first bit of it, really, like the first chapter in this sort of David Jason Cosgrove Hall collaboration, really. And it's great, really. Again, very very good. Plays it straight. Really good performance. Same with the narrator as well. Even though in an interview from 1982, he said that the narrator bit was very hard to do, actually. So, very much, just like the hardest thing, just to keep, because he has to keep like a deep tone voice, really, of doing it. And apparently said they do like five episodes a day, really, which is quite staggering. But I think just that might just be recording for the voices, really, for the everything else. And afterwards, they just do the animation link all together. That could be it. I don't know. Like if they're just working non-stop, creating 5 episodes for animation and voice work as well, voice recording, it could be like, it's like, geez, it's probably like working in a China sweatshop with that sort of thing. Next, we also got Terry Scott as well, who plays Penfold. Terry Scott, quite a regular, well-known actor, of course. He appeared in a few Carry On films. Carry On Camping springs to mind, definitely. He's great. He is very I like the voice. His voice work on Penfield's really good. He's basically playing himself, really. I mean, Terry Scott's great, and yeah, pretty good. Nothing else really to say, but again, very good. And then of course we have Edward Kelsey as well, playing Baron von Greenback, and Colonel K as well. Also, I've got to mention Terry Scott plays the Crow's henchman. I forgot his name. Unfortunately, I forgot the name, really, about that. Of course, Edward Kelsey is like a veteran actor. He's done a lot of things, of course. One thing that springs up to mind is the Tripods TV show they did, that mini-series that they did in the mid-80s. It was part of that, really, until Michael Graves sort of pulled the plug on that thing. Obviously, really, again, good characters as well. Greenback's really great villain, of course, very raspy, hush type voice. Again, then you got sort of Colonel K as well. Pretty good stuff. You've got an amazing slew of adventures on this one because like Cosgrove, Cosgrove Hall just really like went bonkers on more stuff. Really, you have like in the top of my head, you've got a giant robot thing which might be them in the first episode really of the series. Again, giant like robot on one wheel or something like that. Again, pretty good stuff. Actually, really interesting. One about Greenback trying to flood the whole world with custard, which is pretty bizarre. Giant chicken as well, around London, of course. Pretty funny actually. That's a good one. You get introduced to Count Duckula as well, a different type of Count Duckula actually, done by David Jess as well. They sort of like I don't know. He's like again, it kind of reminds me of Tasmanian Devil, and like he speaks, but he has like this like like at this whole thing like that, like a lisp, like raspberry type thing that Jason brings on, which could be part of like the idea for the two Ronnies. If you remember, he did the raspberry like a plan on Jack the Ripper, but he does like a raspberry blowing type thing, and just like it blows a raspberry in people's faces, and they sort of die from it. Pretty funny actually, because he did the voice on that. So yeah, again, interesting. There's a few more characters as well that were sort of included, I think, later on as well, but I don't know the names because I actually haven't seen them yet. Actually, funny enough, I'm familiar with the early stuff, right? From the early ones I remember watching really. Obviously, I saw rewatch it recently on Netflix actually because they put the original version and the new series one both on Netflix. I saw been semi-marathon through the first series actually. It's been pretty good, really good actually. Looking back on it, because my sort of introduction with Danger Mouse came from TV reruns actually. So I was seeing like on television at night time actually. So I can't remember exactly where I found it, but it's like you find stuff like either the engine, you find various other shows as well. It's like a Twilight Zone really. Clangs as well actually to some extent. Again, like a Twilight Zone of like old stuff from again from 60s, 70s, and 80s really that you just basically find. It's a weird time hole that is. It's very bizarre actually, but interesting. I fondly remember watching this quite a number of times. The theme tune is just absolutely amazing, really good. It's very sort of like Spanish Mexican type feel, which is actually really good, very wonderful. Again, animation wise is interesting because they were like cost cutting. They were like try not to make the mouths move as much. If you see it, I mean, one example is like Danger Mouse and Penfold in the car, and you see the heads turn, but you can't see the mouths move because it's like a dashboard in front of them. It sounds like cost cutting really. There is a good retrospective like a retrospective of Danger Mouse from a guy called Papa Marina called Knickknacks, because Danger Mouse was actually premiered on Nickelodeon in 1984, and they did some alternate changes. I think the Crow henchman had a different voice. He was more Cockney, I think. They gave him a Cockney voice, which caused a whole change for the American version, really, but they remained everything else. It does include all the tropes and everything else that Poparina points out, is all the old school racism with the tongue rats and the tribes and and these whole Native Americans as well. I mean, because it's the 80s, so it's like this is before the whole social justice warrior type thing going on, which still going on to this very day, which sort of it makes people sick and tired of really. Even trying to get rid of the Monty Python episode with the Germans. It's like, why? It's a classic. Again, people think they're freaking offended, really. But obviously, they never done with Danger Mouse, really. Strangely, or like with any other shows, really. But who knows? It's like a weird censor thing. It's like weird Mayor White House type stuff, really. But going back to Danger Mouse, again, still a fabulous show, wonderfully done, really good stuff. I'll probably say out of the bunch, really. I mean, if you have to pick the main, well, it's one of my favourites, really, out of Cosgrove Hall, with the likes of Winds and Willows, obviously, classic stuff, great animation on that one, very true to its original source tale, very sort of, I'm trying to think of the word, actually, but very just, again, very, very English, very sort of its time, really, old-fashioned Englishness of it, which is fabulous. Okie Doke, which is really good, light-hearted stuff, wonderfully done. Noddy's Toyland Adventures as well, and obviously Danger Mouse as well. The ones I'm familiar with growing up really. back in the day. Again, it's still a wonderful show. And finally, it is covered on Path of Nostalgia. So there you go, people. You're happy now. And that's all. That's all finishes off that whole trilogy thing, of course, with Count Ducklin, Rich and Hugo as well, woven in between. Finally got around to Danger Mouse. So there we go. Thank you guys for watching. As always, see you for the next video, and I'll see you later.